Brandon, text me and let me know like what's going on if it's not coming through on your end either, because even with me trying to go in and add you, it says add. Mm-mm. Let me go back through and see. Okay, it's trying to come on your end. Got it. That's why it's telling me to add you. Okay. Hey girl, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey Miss Marshall, y'all be patient, guys. We trying to bring on the co-host and also just allow other people to join the live. Guys, we want to really just have a really deep conversation. I know this is a deep one. Hey, but let's have it. Let's really truly have it. I thought about it for a while, and then I was like, after we had the polygamy conversation on Sunday, I was like, okay, let's just do it. Either people are going to chime in and be honest, and open, or they're not. And if that's the case, then that's fine too. But truly, I was like, let's just do it. Brandon wants to. Okay, all right. Let's see, Brandon. We can bring you on. Uh oh. Sorry, guys. Um, it says Brandon wants to join, but Brandon, you are not, and which is crazy because you and I never had this issue. I'm gonna try it again. Okay, approved. Send invite. Okay, all right. So it's adding you now. Hey, my friend. Can you? But can you hear me? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You want to go out and come back and try it again? Okay. Okay. We'll try it once more. Okay. Which is crazy because we never have this issue. I mean, I don't know. Some days this social media foolishness works, and other days it doesn't. But we'll, as we wait on Brandon to get situated, hopefully we can get him in. But while we're waiting, let's just start with this, guys. So I wanted to talk about, from that polygamy conversation, someone made the statement that their wife is able to have a girlfriend, but she's not able to be with other men. That's their thing. She's able to have a girlfriend, but she's not able to be with other men. Then someone came back and asked, are you able to be with other women? And with your wife knowing, the person comes back and says yes, as long as we have a conversation about it. So my mind gets to turning. If that's the case, if she can have a girlfriend and you can be with other women, why not just have a threesome? So that's kind of where this conversation came about. So I want to hear from you guys as it relates to, are you open to bringing in another party into your relationship? Um, and if you are, why? Help me understand the reasons why you are open to bring another party into your relationship. And if you aren't, tell me your reasons as to why you aren't willing to bring another party into your relationship. And then, Brandon, I'm going to try to, while we have people to type, I'm going to try to see if I can. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I keep turning this thing around, see if I can add him. Okay, Brandon, I'm going to try to add you. Okay. So let's talk about it. Miss Marshall, I know you said this is your type of conversation. Brandon, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Let me do this. Let me see. Let's see for some. So let me ask you guys this. So Tonio is about having threesomes at this point. No, um, Brandon, I can't hear you, but let me ask you this. Brandon, when you're on the live, can you hear me then? Hey, Brandon, do you have earpieces? Try to put those on and see if you, okay, take them. Okay. Can you hear me now? Take your, now you off, now you on mute. Take it off mute and see. Yeah, because it's showing you on mute. Okay. What, say something now. Mm-mm. That's okay. We can just have it. Hmm. Okay. So I'm gonna read some of these comments. Don't want to miss that. Yes, because it brings extra excitement in the relationship. No, ma'am, she would not get poked. Call it double standard. I don't care. So we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there about she would not get poked. Okay. What is to talk about at this time? So we're talking about, Antonio, threesomes. And are you willing to bring a secondary party into the bedroom? So Quentin V says it brings extra excitement. No, ma'am, she would not get poked is a statement that's stated, right? So, one, it brings extra excitement. I knew we were going to get that extra excitement, but it brings extra excitement because that was one of my questions that I have down because I knew that was going to be stated, right? So, it brings extra excitement for who? Do you guys think it's more that it brings extra excitement for the man, or do you think it brings extra excitement for the woman as well? What are your thoughts? And I see Robert, you said, oh my. What is that in reference to? What is the oh my in reference to? Is it oh my because this is a hot topic? Is it okay? So Quentin D said it's the excitement for both. So let me ask you this. Is it that you have a conversation with your partner to say, hey, what's your thoughts on this? Or you just show up with somebody saying, hey, this is the excitement and this is what we're doing. Is it spontaneous or is it planned? So let's talk about that based on what Quentin B says. Is it spontaneous? Is it planned? And then, Sharice, I'm going to go back to your statement and we're going to talk about that. Jamon said your mate has to be open-minded first of all, right? And so that's why I asked, is it planned or is it spontaneous? Because I think it can go really bad if it's spontaneous and you just show up with, this is what we're doing. Hey, you with it or you're not? The man, the pleasure for both if the woman is into women. Now, one, no, it's planned. Okay, so let's talk about those plans. And yes, let's talk about the woman being open-minded. But Sharisa, I want to talk about no, the woman is not getting poked. So guys, I want to ask you that before we go to talk about it being planned, right? So with that being stated, why is it that the man is always that we bring, well, when I say we, those people that are open to having threesomes, that it's a woman that comes into the picture? Why is it that it's never two men and the woman? And I'm not saying the men are having to be together. I'm not saying that by no means. What I'm saying is if you're getting pleasure from another woman being in the picture and being with two women, why is it that she can't get pleasure from being with two men? And it is a double standard, Sharisa, like you stated. Why is it that men aren't open to that? Let's just say your woman said, hey, what are your thoughts? We've done this. I've been open to bringing in a woman. And she says, I would like for us to be where I would like to be, let me say that, I would like to be, meaning the woman, with you and another man. And again, we're not saying that men are going to be together in this threesome. It is her pleasure to be serviced by you as her mate and another man. Why is it a double standard that that is more than likely not to happen? Let me read some of these comments. Let's see. Well, every woman won't be down with it, and they won't. Definitely, they won't. And that's why it's definitely a conversation that has to be had. Men have sex and can do it with no emotions. Women have sex based on emotions, most women. And I want to ask that in a threesome, do you think that's the case? It's best to let the female choose the female. I was going to ask that. Jamal, did you look at my paper through my window? It's best to let the female choose the female, because if the guy chooses, she's going to think they have already been messing around. And I agree. So I'm going to get to that too. I'm going to get to that as well. I've been several threesomes in my younger days, and I wouldn't want to indulge in it now at my age. I explored both sides, but I wouldn't dare do it while in a relationship / marriage. Now, Trina, when you say I explore it both sides, meaning you've explored it on both sides, meaning two men and you, and you and two women and one guy. Is that what we're talking about? Two men is gay, two women is bi. But this is what. But okay, May era. This is what I'm saying. All right, and I knew that was gonna come up. Oh Lord Jesus, thank God I was prepared for these questions, these responses. Right? If two men, so if it's your girl and she says we brought in another woman based on our conversation, you as my man, I would like to invite another guy into the relationship. Again, it's not that the two men are going to be together. It's you're coming in to pleasure my wife just the same way the woman came in to our girl, my mate. I'm gonna take that out. I'm not gonna say my wife, my mate. Just like the woman came in to pleasure you with her. Why is it that the man can't come in and pleasure her? We're not asking the men to be together, because I want to ask you guys this. Is it mandatory that when it's two women pleasuring the man that they be together? Is it mandatory that that happen? Let's talk about that, because most men ego couldn't handle it if other man is pleasing her in a way he has never pleased her. Oh my goodness, he would be broken forever. Ugh. But do y'all think women feel that way too though? Great response, Vincent. He says not, Robert says not happening. And I think you're saying that as far as not happening based on the man coming in. Two men ain't good because I won't be in that room at all. But let me ask you this, okay? I think a lot of men look at it like this. Well, I don't want to see the next man naked. Even if you were open to it with your wife saying, or your mate, y'all keep, forgive me for keep saying wife, your mate. Even if your mate says, hey, I want to bring in another guy to please me, right? So let's just say, with that being the case, and you say two men ain't good because it won't be in the same room. Well, I look at it like this. Men watch porn all the time. You see those men naked in porn. Just because you're not in the same room, you still see his private parts. You still see him naked. You, even though he's been with another woman, that's not in your presence, you still watch porn. So it couldn't be clearly that you're uncomfortable with seeing a man naked. It just couldn't be that, because again, most men watch porn, and you see those men naked. Talk to me about that. I brought another man into a previous relationship because she needs to get the same feeling as the man gets while he's having the threesome. And that's my thoughts. Like, why is it that we're open for a woman to get the man to only get pleased by another woman, but we're not open to if our woman come and say, hey, I want to bring in another man. I want to get that pleasure from another guy as well. Because again, I would say it couldn't be because you don't want to see another man naked. Because again, most men, if not all, watch porn and you see that man naked. So you see that man private part. So we're not going to even think in that space. I don't think this is true. I've had sex with a woman with other men. It's a train, not gay. Well, Vincent said that. Absolutely. And that's why I say we got to take out the thought pattern that two men are going to be together sexually in a threesome. No, that ain't got to be the case. Because Vincent mentioned that when we talked about polygamy the other day, about most men have ran a train, even if it's not with on their girl, of course. They've done that as they grew up. They've done that maybe at parties with their homeboys. If most men have been to parties where dancers has been, dancers, strippers, it's happened most time. And most time, ain't nobody saying let's go in the back room, because then now guys like, what, you trying to cuff her? So it's like, let's have some real dialogue and some real conversation. Most times, these are the things that happens at private parties with dancers. So it couldn't be because you don't want to be in the same room. So why is it truly that you're not open to another man being with your mate, but she's okay with you? Are y'all okay with bringing in another woman? Trina said yes, both. Two men is not gay. There's not touching one another. They are there to please the woman. Absolutely, I agree. Okay, what's the difference between the train and two men with one woman? How many of us, that's right, how many men has done trains? I mean, like, unapologetically real. Some guys are insecure. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe we don't want our woman to walk away with that. Are there rules to this? Let's talk about that. Let's shift a little bit. Are there rules to this? Some guys have a double standard. They will bring another woman but won't let their lady with another man. Let's talk about it. It don't sound right for a man to invite. And that's the thing. It doesn't sound right. And that's my point. Why is it a social society thing and it doesn't sound right? Just because it doesn't sound right don't mean we bypass giving that pleasure to our mate if that's what she wants, when you're open to bringing into another woman just because it doesn't sound right. Three's Company, more is a train. I'm so over you. You're very seldomly find two men that's willing to share one woman. When she does, she is lucky. They are out there. Brandon says ego. Brandon, I need you. So ego is most times the reason why men aren't open to bringing in another woman. Another man. I think that's too. But let me ask you guys this. Do you think it's more troublesome um, to even have threesomes? Meaning the after effect. Do you think after this has occurred, people typically think about, is my mate, a partner, gonna double back? Do you think that a lot of that occur, and so people aren't open to even do it simply because that's the thought? Like, if I bring in another man, are they gonna do these things behind my back? If we bring in another woman, do I think they'll hook up behind my back? Is there a trust factor that you know your mate so well that you're good and comfortable with that not happening? What are your thoughts? And I ask this question: if when you bring in two women, because we know we're not talking about bringing in two men and they interact, so I won't ask that question at all. Is it that when two women are with that one man, that the two women must be intimate together? That's my question as well. I think, okay, let's go back. Guys are not open for fear that the other guy will please their woman better than them. Trina said it's not gay. Gotta have boundaries. Ain't no man effing me. The other is my a-hole. All right, we'll get to that. I think at this good old age, we putting away more value on sex. Okay. Okay. So it's not even about those two women being intimate together as you get older. You watch, oh, I love Tubi. And I say Tubi is soft porn anyways. Because I feel like society accepts the woman being with women than men being with men, and that's how a lot of people think. And that's what we say, Shaq. I don't know if he was on here. We're not saying that the two men would be together. We're saying he has accepted. My girl said she fulfilled what I needed. I am going to fulfill what she is asking me and bringing another man. But we're not saying that the two men will be intimate. We're saying he would be, there to witness. Because some men get pleasure off of seeing other women be sexual with someone else. And so it's not that they have to be together. Just like that's why I switched and asked that question. Are we saying there's a standard rule, though, that the two women have to be together? Look, I don't know where the disconnect came from, but once and for all, if two or more men have sex with a woman at the same time, hold on, it's a train. If a man has two women at the same time, it's called a threesome. Men made these words up. Thank you, Michael, for even stating and inputting that. I'm not interested. It's up to the couples to bring that excitement to their relationship. And you know what, William? I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said that too as a guy, and I was very shocked. They said they're not interested in having a threesome. And I was like, wow, I just thought most men were. Yes, that's the understanding that both women will be together sexually. And then I heard Quentin B said at this age, it's all about the sex, not necessarily for him that the two women have to be together. It would be a problem because if the other man do something that you're not good at, the woman say, let's do it again. I think it would be an argument later. That's another thing I want to talk about, guys. The boundaries that Trina talked about. No, they don't, because some women don't want another woman. And maybe she just, right, maybe she just bring a man to please her man because that's what a man wants. And some people get satisfaction of watching other people have sex, just like we was talking about porn. Some people just get that satisfaction and pleasure from seeing other people have sex, not necessarily. And then some people have their pleasure by seeing two women be together. So I think that's where it goes back to having a conversation about why are we doing this? What is this about? So you definitely have to plan. You definitely have to have a conversation. I want to go back to what Maera said about picking the mates, right? Because here's my thing. One, I do believe that women will feel like you've been sexually active with that person before if you just pick the person. I just think as women, because I would, I'm just going to be honest, I would think that. But also not just that. What our men may be attracted to as women, we're not attracted to. And I'll say that to say this. Like, I am, like, I'll go to strip clubs. Like, I'm open to going to strip clubs. I'm open to going with my guy. And so if we go to a strip club and we may get dances and I may get dances for him, right? He may say, what about her? And I'm like, I don't find her attractive. Doesn't mean that I like women. I don't find her attractive. I don't like, let me say this. And no slight to small women because I was small. I just think most girls that are attracted to me are more in the strip club are more curvy women. So if I was into threesome, I wouldn't want a man to show up with something that's totally opposite to what I'm interested in. So I think it definitely has to be conversational, because you can't just show up with what she may not even be attracted to. No kissing would probably be a boundary. Absolutely. I agree, Vincent. Definitely. Those type of things are very intimate. So I definitely would say that would be something that would be off limit. Guys, tell me some other things that would be boundaries that boundaries that would be off limit. Let's talk about understanding. It has to be, oh, hold on, Brenda, let me get back to you. Sometimes this thing just go all over the place. Let's talk about understanding has to be established. If it's not spontaneous, for the main two parties to establish, yeah, I think I stated that, right? Oh, I need you on here, which would be mainly established through the trust that they have together. Next, if we are having a threesome, we're doing a lot together. It shouldn't be solely for the man's pleasure, right? Which leads to the next point. Guys usually don't care for another guy in the bedroom for the pleasure. But women, being feminine, are looked at in a lighter tone, even being with another woman for her pleasure or the couple's pleasure. But keeping it 3,000, there are couples that have men and women sexually interactive. So let's talk, I'm projecting real. Right. There are couples that are open, and I think it's fewer that don't um get satisfaction off all three parties being together. But he's right. There are couples out there, because to each his own, that are okay with their mate being sexually pleased for whatever reason, all parties involved in that sexual intimacy. And you're right, they are. Kissing is intimate and personal. I agree. And would probably be off limits. Call me Master P, no limits. So, Cleveland, you're saying if there's that threesome, and between a male and two women, for you, there's no limits, meaning everything goes. Every and anything goes. Is that what you're saying? A lot of couples do soft swaps or hard swaps. Which leads us to that orgy question, or our participation. Are you guys open? Have you ever been? I know they have these clubs nowadays, and I don't know. I know there's one by me on Food and Industrial. I think it's called Trapeze. I hear people talk about that a lot. What do you guys think about that? Like those type of spots. Have any of you ever been? Are you interested? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Okay, Cleveland, you said correct that if it's you and two women, nothing is off limits. Let's see. Do you think afterwards your mate would judge you? Meaning women. Are you afraid that if you have a threesome with your mate, do you think your mate would judge you? Like if you do things, would you be uncomfortable that you feel like you couldn't be yourself because you think your mate would judge you afterwards? Or vice versa. Do you think, guys, do you feel like you could be totally in your sexual zone without your mate judging you afterwards? Talk to me about that. I've only soft swaps and I've done private parties, but not the clubs. Okay. Okay. A soft swap. Now, I've had the clubs um are pretty like structured, that you have some of these places, like you have to have memberships. Um, they have private rooms. They have open spaces, and then they may have private rooms. but they also, you know, give protection and things like that. What's about people who go to swingers club with their mate? Never done, right. So even though Antonio said he's never done it, but are you guys open to doing that as far as doing the swinger scene? Talk to me. That y'all don't get quiet out there. I want to hear from a lot of you guys. And what are one of the biggest worries? I think we talked about it, but no one really. If there are any worries, what do you think are some of the biggest worries? Okay, so the RG starts at 6 or more. Okay, okay. Would you be open to having a party? Would anyone on here be open to putting together? And I'm not talking about from this list of people. I'm saying just like putting together a party. Like Brandon said, RG started at 6 or more. Would you be open to having a party? Never did the club. Went to private parties. Okay, Vincent. No, because 9 out of 10, he gonna know I'm bisexual. Nothing to judge. Okay. Okay. Right. Nothing to judge. And I think if your partner really knows you, then you're right, Trina. There is nothing to judge. I think if they're just trying to put you in a position because that's what they want for their pleasure, then yeah, and it's no conversation, it's spontaneous, then that may be some things afterwards. But I think if your partner really and truly know you and know that you're into women, then yeah, there is nothing to judge. Other than that, it's a threesome or foursome. I've hosted parties of this nature. I need to hear about those parties, Brandon. We gotta talk because I need you to be on here. It depends on where you are in your relationship. Before marriage, trapeze was a bucket list item for me. It was, it, it was, okay, I'm sorry. It was a bucket list item for me. It was what it was. Once I found my person, I no longer had the interest. I said I wanted to check it out because I've heard a lot about trapeze. And I think I'm going to check it out. I do think I'm going to check it out. Now, when I say check it out, I'm not saying, don't go saying, Amanda said she got, it don't mean that I'll go experience it, but I do want to check it out to see what's the hype, what are the people talking about, what truly goes on in there. I do want to see. I'm curious. Like Tangela said, I'm interested. I do want to see. Um, Only one spot I want to go. How do you pronounce it? Henderson? Like, where is that at? Where is it at? Is it in Atlanta or where is it, Quaylen? So, guys, do you think after you find your person, and that's a great question. I mean, that's a great statement. So, do you think after you find your person for you, because she said she was no longer interested, okay, it's Jamaica. Do you think does those desires go away, or, or do you think it's so ingrained in you of being with one more than one partner that this, better yet, do you choose your forever partner based on what you're, how you built? I think that's the biggest part. Okay, trapeze is nice. Okay, okay, I'm gonna check it out. Thank you, Quinn. Um, do you choose your partner, your forever mate, based on how you are built? You know you're that person that like to be with more than one woman. Do you choose a partner that has those same commonalities as you, that they're open-minded to these different type of adventures? Because I think a lot of times when we don't have conversations ahead of time before being with our mate, and then we fling these things on them later on, I think that start to cause problems too. Y'all talk to me about that. At the end of the day, once you're comfortable in your sexual being, you're more comfortable to be open for yourself. Then and only then can you be in a healthy space to deal with multiple people in your true sexual energy. they got to be sexual comfortable with self in order to be able to bring that on to someone else. This is just more proof that monogamy is unnatural. Okay, okay. If you're choosing a mate solely on sexual preferences, you're doomed. But not just on sexual preferences, but meaning that you have all of these values that you have in common. So we have all this other stuff in common, but and we're good, but we never had a conversation to talk about if you would be open to a threesome, if you would be open minded to other things. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So, no, not that I'm saying you choose your mate solely on that, but do you think it's wise to have those conversations ahead of time? Because if not, if you're that guy that knows you have this sexual desire peak to be with other women, I think you're the type of person that needs to have a conversation with your mate instead of sneaking out, being with other women and cheating. If you knew that your mate was open to bringing in another mate, you minimize that because your sexual appetite is fulfilled with bringing in that woman as opposed to sneaking behind her back cheating. So, but how would you know that if you don't have those conversations with her? So let's see some of the questions. Absolutely, the like-minded is what sustains a relationship. Right. So you got it. In my mind, this is just Amanda. I think it's healthy to have those conversations to see where you guys stand sexually. And I'm gonna bring up something that's a little off topic, but it's about like-mindedness. Some couples have threesomes to save their relationship, and that never worked. Right. I don't think having those will save a relationship at all because I think it's bigger than that. I think situations happen long before you bring in somebody to save your relationship. If this sexual energy don't match mine, he's bust. That's where right, and that's why I was saying, do you choose those people that are like-minded for you with all the other things inclusive that has that same sexual energy, that same sexual, because we talk about all these other things that we want in our mate, but we most times don't talk about the sexual appetite, the sexual desires, and all those other things that could minimize cheating. Um, you have the conversation with the future person you want and would like for them to have the same types of things you want to do. I agree. Those are subjects that need to be discussed in absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. In the dating phase, do you have these conversations or do you just shy away from them? But I think if we have those hard conversations, like Vincent always said, and don't be afraid, we're in 2024, guys, and a lot of stuff happens. So I think if we could be okay in having true transparency, hard conversations about any and everything with our partner, I think we can pretty much have relationships. And I know it's bigger than sex. I'm saying have transparency and true dialogue conversations and being open and honest about sexual desires and preferences. I think it will minimize a lot of cheating. Uh, this man said my wife gay as fuck. That's why she the one. That's why she bait. We both like them baddies. I love it. I love it. And see, that's what I'm saying. In order to, I think, to sustain a relationship coupled with all the other values that's important to you, you got to have those conversations to help build that sexual happiness, healthiness in your relationship ahead of time, because you just can't assume. You just can't assume. And when we talk about like-mindedness, somebody mentioned to me today when we was having this conversation, I know it's a little off topic, but it is about it aligns that their partner had, not theirs, but they had talked to someone that had experienced this. Their partner have not had oral sex with them in years. And that's where their pleasure lies. So my thing is, meaning the man had not given pleasure to her, but she does oral sex to him. How does that work? Y'all talk to me about that. And that's why I'm like, when do you have these conversations? And that's why I think it does need to be had early on, like Trina and Quaylen and some of the others were saying, because I'm going to tell you, and this is just a member, I would not be able to date someone that's not open to oral sex. That's me and my thing. So if if you're not having these conversations, are you just taking a chance that that's what they're going to do? Is that what we do now? Do we just take a chance and assume that everybody is open to pleasure you the way that you want to be pleasured? Let's talk about that. And at the end of the day, a person that won't cheat won't. You're right. I agree. Threesome orgies or whatever included, it starts with the person you're dealing with, their character, the bond that you have, and what truly is important to them. Absolutely. I agree to that. She should have had conversation. You're absolutely, Vincent. That is a conversation that should have happened long time ago. But I think we go into situations assuming that everybody does these type of acts, or that we've moved past it, that everybody grown, everybody's into oral sex, everybody's into whatever, whatever. You know, there's many more ways to pleasure a person that other people are not into. And if those are things that mean something to you, you got to be willing to have those conversations about it. Because just like the girl, I told the girl, I said, there's no way possible that I would be okay with pleasuring him in that way. But if that's my thing and he's not pleasuring me in my way, we would definitely would have had bumps in the road long time ago. And one may say, to Brandon's point, one may say, but it's bigger than sex. But that means I'm giving him self gratification. I'm giving him sexual gratification in his area, but he's not fulfilling mine. How do we? How does that work? Y'all talk to me about that. You have to pleasure her mind, which opens her up to physical things she's never done. Mm. Does that work for? Do you think men? Do you think women can open a man's mind to things he's never done? Or do you believe that men have done some of everything that women won't be able to, I won't say won't, that women can't introduce men to other things? Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Help me out. Talk to me. We'll give people time to type. Um, but yeah, I want to make sure when we talk about speak now, forever hold your peace. That's right. Speak up, speak up, speak up. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I love it. That's right. Hey, because we talking Project Real on here. So ain't no, and we're adults. So we definitely have real conversations and y'all become more naturally aligned. Absolutely. Absolutely. A woman can open a man's mind to do things he's never done as well. Right. So I knew a woman that said her man didn't give her head because she didn't give him head. And I found that weird, but I found out that she was she was trash as fuck at it. So it made sense that he avoided it because he was probably afraid of her feeling like she needed to return the favor. Okay. So great point. But do you not feel that people can teach their mates how to pleasure them? Because there's a lot of people that do not know how to truly give oral sex in one form or another. It's not just putting your mouth on people. It's bigger than that. And so I'm just gonna keep it 100. It's bigger than that. So it's a lot of people that don't know how to really pleasure in the space of oral sex. But do you think there's a conversation that needs to be had that says openly, and when you're in the bedroom with your mate, hey, here's how you do this. Here's what I like. Here's try this. Slow down. Now open your mouth. And I'm just saying, let's talk. Let's talk unapologetically real here. Um, it's very possible you will bring a lot of confusion to the relationship if you want to visit the swingers club. I have a private club for you to visit. Those means ATL. Okay. Cool beans. If he don't something, my you said, oh, Trina, it's kind of skipping, guys. I'm sorry. Close your heart, which opens her up to physical things. Sweet now, forever hold your peace. Have real conversations, and you'll become more naturally aligned. Okay. If he don't, my punani, you have yourself nothing. So I guess if he don't have oral sex, then you have yourself nothing. I think that's what you're saying. Some people don't listen. They don't want to be told anything. I think if your mate is trying to, tell you how they want to be pleasured, yeah, I think you should be open to that. But, like you said, some folks don't want to be told anything. You have to teach your mate how to pleasure you. What worked on their last person may not work for you. Absolutely. Because everybody has different spots that brings them to their peak. I think she or he can be taught of the mate is open-minded enough to teach. Right. Thank you, Phyllis. I like that. If the partner is open-minded enough to teach, I think he or she would be more apt and receptive and open-minded to be taught. In a relationship, yes, I teach him how I like to, because like Vincent said, everybody is different. And so you can't go from your last thinking, okay, this is the way she likes to be pleased, because, hey, we all like different things and we all have our different sexual spots that brings the best out of us and get us to that point. Yes, you can show your mate what makes you satisfied, right? This is so true. I was dating a guy who thought he was getting down with oral. Notice I said he thought he was trying to do a female circumcision. And so, yeah, you definitely have to say, okay, so, hey, this don't work. I mean, and you have to be tactful, soft in the way you have this conversation, because you don't want to offend the person where they shut down. But I think you can be open enough to have that conversation with your mate. Like Phyllis said, that if you're willing to teach them, they will be open to learn. Yeah, yeah. Guys, let me tell y'all this. This has been great. I really didn't think y'all was going to have this conversation. I was like, they're going to get on here and be quiet. Nobody ain't going to say nothing. Because I think a lot of times people are fear of being judged. But I think what we do in our bedroom with our mate is strictly us. And we don't have to share that with the world. This is our thing. What you do behind closed doors is your business. Whatever conversation you have with your partner And what works for you guys works for you. We have to get out of social norms and what people are going to think. Well, who knows? Who knows? Unless you tell them. Nobody knows what goes on behind your doors. Do what satisfies you and your mate to help sustain and fulfill your relationship. And I will say it's very important to have those conversations ahead of time. If they're open to the threesomes, if they're open to being with another woman, and women, if you're have a desire to be with your mate and another man, getting their thoughts on how they feel about that. So you already know, having conversations about what pleases you. I know I've had people that cringe, like me and my girlfriend says, clutch their pearls at the thought of anal sex. But there are so many people that are into it. So we're adults. We're in 2024. You got to be open to having conversations ahead of time instead of waiting till you get in the bedroom and then say, "Oh, let's do this." Because if they're not willing, it may spoil the mood. But if you already know what they're open to, hey, when it's time, it's gonna be what it is. Brenda say, real change conversation bring real results. Real talk. Real talk. Now that's true. Definitely. Real change conversation bring real results because you never know. Stay healthy mentally as you explore with your partner, as well as physical healthy. Don't assume Don't assume, but keep it real. Absolutely, because you can't assume. But keep it real so that you can experience those things necessary for your orgasm growth. I love it because you can't be selfish in the bedroom that you get yours and she don't get hers, and vice versa. That you get yours and he don't get his. We're adults, guys. Do what works. Make sure your partner is sexually fulfilled. Make sure you're staying safe in those spaces. So we talked about boundaries. I would say definitely, guys, make sure you're protected. If you're bringing in partners, everything goes in our bedroom. We're two freaks. I think the freakier you can get, the more excitement you can get to keep sustaining your partner. Just be open-minded, guys. I love it. Guys, thank y'all so much for having this conversation with me and making it engaging and exciting. I tell you guys all the time, please inbox me with any conversational topics that that you want to have. Because we talk unapologetically real, we will have the conversation. I just always say respect people differences of opinion, and when you have those differences of opinion, speak tactfully in your responses as you type those responses. Because if not, I'll skip over reading them, but I don't never have those problems. Guys, thank you. It is time. I'm your girl, Amanda Miller, with 105.7 The Phase. Guys, know that I am here every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and then I'm at IG on Sundays at 7 o'clock. This has been amazing. I really appreciate it. Tag, before you guys leave, do me a favor. Please, please, please go ahead and tag and share. Tagging and sharing, therefore, those people that missed it will be able to go on the live and see it. Please, please, please go ahead and tag and share. And then that way, for whatever conversation that we're going to have future forward, it will bring them in to have these conversations. Guys, have an amazing week. I always say there's a lot of great, amazing people out there. If you aren't one, become one. Always, you guys are the real MVPs for being here with me. Thank you. Have an amazing week, guys. Be safe out there.